You are now listening to 15 Minutes of Fame Radio.
Let's go! Yo, man, 15 Minutes of Fame. Beasley, URLTV.tv.
Yes,
Sound like I
indeed.
work for y'all now.
Oh, man. I wish you did, man.
Yo, hey, you know what? This is I don't think I've ever asked you in all the interviews I did with you. I wanted to know, when did Beasley meet Smack? Have you ever been asked that question before?
Nah.
Because I've never saw it in any interview, and it hit me earlier. I was like, how did that whole thing go together?
All right. Many moons ago. Many years ago, I had a friend of mine. His name was Kevin Mitchell. He was actually my mentor in the music business.
Real quick, because you were A&R in music?
Yeah, I did A&R, I did promotion, I did
Right.
some marketing. My background was in the music business prior to URL. That's
Okay.
what I did.
Okay.
So, I worked at a few labels, stuff like that. Worked with a few artists. But for the most part, I had a mentor. His name was Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell worked at Def Jam, and he worked at some other labels. Long story short, he ended up at Geffen Records, and then he brought me in there, and I worked through that system. He later went on to do management, and he managed this group called Nappy Roots that was out a few years
I think
ago.
I remember that.
They had like 1 or 2 hits or whatever. It was a good group, talented guys, and they had a video shoot. Now, just prior to this video shoot, my man had brought me a Smack DVD, the very first one that had come out. He's like, yo, this thing, you gotta check this shit out. My man Vaughn Young, and he had brought it to me, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, this is dope. So I was like, yo, I was trying to get up with him to get some people that I knew onto the DVD. There was no way to find this guy. He wasn't on camera. There was no phone number on the box. It was like a wild email.
Because that's how Smack, he used to put music on the DVDs. Right, okay.
So, boom, I go to this video shoot because my man is like, yo, come to my video shoot. Shit is gonna be crazy. So there's like this studio over by like Queensbridge in Long Island City, right across from Queensbridge Projects. But it's actually like a film studio. So when I'm in there, I'm just there to see him, my friend, my mentor, the dude Kevin. So when I'm walking in, somebody's walking out, and we bump into each other. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. Like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, what's up, Bees? Smack. I was like, oh, yes, Smack DVD? He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then from that point on,
What music video was it? Do you remember whose
it was
video?
a Nappy Roots video.
Oh, it was one of theirs. Okay,
It was one
all
of their videos.
Okay.
I don't remember the song.
That's how I wanted to know who
Nappy
was it.
Roots had like this song that was big with Cameron that jumped on the remix.
Okay.
But I forgot the name of the single. But it was one of their songs, and
Yo, you literally met Smack, bumped into him.
That's crazy. With like the energy you put out in the universe, sometimes it comes back to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we like, what's the probability of him walking alone and me walking alone, and we like not paying
And you
attention,
were looking
bump
for him,
into each
too.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just started talking, and you know what I mean? Ended up being the greatest moment of Smack's life.
I'm not gonna get really crazy in that. That's funny, but I just want just a little bit of the timeline. I like you, y'all.
This is like 2004.
Wow.
Somewhere around in there. Somewhere around that time.
Now you meet him. Y'all don't discuss anything that night. Y'all just chop it up. You don't.
Nah, he
tell him-
changes numbers, right? And then shout to Soundview Projects. I had brought him up to see Lord Tariq and Corey Guns. So
Peter Guns.
No, Corey Guns, the son. Remember he had the infamous freestyle where he was in the car? The one that really got him
Wow, that
popping.
was round in. Damn.
Right. So I knew them. I knew the people.
So you chop it up with Smack that night, and then
Right.
y'all kind of keep in contact, and
right.
then you.
And I said, yo, I got some shit that you could, catch up, that you could shoot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I would like to get onto your DVD. So he was like, all right.
Pause. What was Smack doing at the video shoot?
He was doing interviews.
Okay.
Right. So he was there doing interviews, already grinding and hustling.
For the DVD.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So then I told him, so Smack knew like 50 Cent, Shy Money, all those dudes are like from his neighborhood. DJ Envy, Clue, all the Queens guys Smack knew. I knew like a lot of different like producers, like Fat Joe, people like that, like a lot of people from the Bronx and uptown. So when we came together, it was just like boom, whoever he didn't know or have contact with, I knew.
Wow.
So he came to the Bronx, and that's what I was like, yo, you got to see this kid Corey Guns. He's crazy. I'm telling you. He's like, you sure? I was like, yo, trust me. So it was the Heat Makers was there. The producers, the Heat Makers that did all the beats for Dipset.
I remember the Heat Makers.
So, like that was actually Austin's car, like the BMW. So he had it right there. Corey jumped in. Him and my man Germ spit the freestyle. Everybody went crazy for that. You know what I mean? And then the next day we went to Soundview Projects, or later that day went to Soundview Projects, drove around there, got up with Lord Tariq, started hollering at him about what he was going on at the time, and that's kind of how our relationship began. So I knew Lord Tariq, so I was just asking the questions for Smack behind the camera, because his man was driving, Smack was shooting, and he didn't know what to ask him. So I just jumped in and started asking the questions.
And you knew him, so.
And I knew him.
Right.
So then from that point moving forward, it was like a good combination. So then we kind of would collaborate about different stuff. He'd be focused on the shooting and I'd be doing the questions. And then from that point we stuck on. And then how the next battle came about was Corey's cousin is my man Jim's World. Shout out to him. They knew Loaded Lux, but they didn't call him Lux. His name was Pop Lux at the time.
Pop.
So what happened was, I was like, yo, Smack, we got to do another battle. That battle shit is hot. Like, you know what I mean? That because the Murder Mook joint was
Well,
out.
you said we.
Yes.
So you were already.
Like, once we started working together, it was all the time.
All the time. Okay,
It was like right away, bam. Because it was like, we were both trying to find something different. You know what I mean? And it was like, I was working in the music business, but music was slowly changing. You know what I mean? And it was slowly changing. And then I wasn't working at a label at the time. I was outside the labels. So I was hustling beats. That's how I was making money. I managed a lot of producers. So I would take their beats, and I knew all the rappers. So I just call them, pop up in the studio, play them some beats, get a placement, take a percentage, and get them onto different projects that was popular
Nice
at the
hustle
time.
back then, too.
Yeah, it was moving.
Yeah.
So from that point, we didn't know, like, we were selling them independently, but we didn't know what the next step was going to be. You know what I mean? Smack kind of already had that infrastructure in place. He had the mom and pop lists. Smack was very technical in terms of the shooting and the editing. And he had another partner, this dude named Craig, who did like graphics and helped him with the editing. But the majority of the editing and the shooting, all the shooting was Smack. He did all the shooting, all the editing, all the videos. Everything that you saw on Smack DVD was
All up in the
90% of that
video,
shit was shot
all
with
up
Smack.
on the song. He was Diddy.
Yeah, he was
He
Diddy.
was his
He was
own
Diddy behind the camera.
Word.
So he did that. We were making another. He was making another DVD. I said, "You need another battle," and he's like, "Well, he had a relationship with Jay Mills and their management, Tone and Nigel at the time, and he was like, yo, who should we bring back?" And he was like, well, I know Jay Mills doesn't want to battle again because he had a deal at the time. And I was like, well, people like Murder Mook too. You know what I mean? That was a good battle. Like, could have gone either way. Let's bring him back. And he's like, well, who is he going to battle? And then my man Corey, who was Peter Gunn's cousin, was like, yo, this kid named Pop Lux. I'm telling you.
Pop Lux.
So I told Smack, yo, this dude named Poppy Lux. He's supposed to be fire. So when we told Murder Mook he was going to be battling Poppy Lux, he knew who he was because he was from in that hub of MCs running around battling. It was like this MC battle revolution going on in Harlem at the time. So you had all these different guys that were battling, from Fred the Godson to Charlie Clips. You had Jay Mills, you had Shells, you had Den 10, you had Nemesis, and T-Rex, of course, was very popular at the time. All of these guys were getting it on. And back then, it was more so to get a deal. And it was heavily influenced by that Rockefeller Locks era, Rough Rider era. You know, Cassidy was out there, D&Y had the van. They drive up on the block with the van. Cassidy jump out with like 700 bars for anybody who wants to get it. It was just a great time out there for, you know.
At this time, you said fuck the music.
Right.
Were you done with the industry at that point?
I wasn't done with the industry. I just wasn't in an office. So
Okay.
I was out hustling. So this fit perfectly because I'd be getting close to some of the stars that I wanted to get to. If I didn't know somebody, I could pass them a beat CD, try to work out some hustles on the side.
Two birds, one stone.
Right.
It's good.
So from that point, you know, we got Lux, and then we called them up, and then we went uptown, the 3rd Avenue. There was like a sneaker store or something, so we set it up, and the rest is history.
Wow. And I know one day we'll do a sit down for like 5 or 6 hours and actually do a URL
Timeline.
Yeah, I just think it's an interesting story that how you actually hooked up with Smack.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then from that day on, y'all motherfuckers been together ever since 2004. 14 years.
Much. I mean, it took a while. There was some talk. There was some business talk in the beginning, and paperwork and meetings, and you know, and then it just went on some handshake shit for a while, and it just worked out how it worked out.
15 minutes of fame.
You are now listening to 15 Minutes of Fame Radio.
Let's go.